Phoenix Suns fans are livid at this, as we just saw this team go on a 3-game win streak at home, and it all collapses once again on the road, as some tough rebounding and some tough defensive pressure leads this team to fall short. But with a player not possibly playing and being his name thrown in trade rumors, could it possibly spark the Suns to go out and do something as of today? We'll be getting into all of that and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. And like I've been saying, you guys have been absolutely fantastic, showing your love and support. You got us to our goal of 2,000 subscribers, which we're so thankful for. But we do want to let you guys know that right around 82% of you guys who watch these videos are not subscribed. So if you want to make sure you stay up to everything, up to date on this Suns team, trade rumors, post-game video reactions like this, and much more along this Suns team, including weekly live streams, which are back once again on Thursday. So tomorrow we'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific to discuss the Suns this past week and to answer all your Suns questions. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date, make sure to hit the subscribe button and let us know your thoughts down below on the Suns' recent performance. But without further ado, let's dive into the video at hand and make sure to grab that snack. And like I said in the introduction, this is absolutely ridiculous. As we saw, the Phoenix Suns obviously have some struggles with some of their lineups, but were able to get through that funk with a nice 3-game homestand. They were able to beat the Atlanta Hawks, they were able to beat the Detroit Pistons, and they were able to beat the Charlotte Hornets in a nice comeback victory. So Suns fans, including myself, were very, very optimistic going into this 5-game road stand here, going to the Eastern Conference, taking on some teams that we've previously played, some teams that are a little bit maybe lesser competition, dealing with some injuries as well. And I had a feeling that the Suns were going to be able to go out and win this game, but unfortunately for myself and many others, we saw the exact opposite. As we saw, like I mentioned, the Suns fall short to this Atlanta Hawks team, 122 to 117. And one thing before we dive into looking at all the stats and stuff I want to highlight is this right here. If you want to look at the Atlanta Hawks scoring, one quarter did they not allow the Suns not allow 30 points in it, and that was the third quarter where they allowed only 25 points from the Hawks. But as you can see from the Hawks, 33, 31, and 30 points. The Phoenix Suns defense has been allowing 30 points in basically most of their quarters and a lot of their quarters, and it really, really hinders them. My site manager over at Brightside, John Voita, who does a podcast on Suns Jam, brought this up on Twitter, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic to see that in after yesterday's performance, because I thought it really highlighted a big issue with this Suns team, which is still the defense and not having some of those defensive players. If we want to look at the team stats, like I mentioned, another thing that this Suns team has been struggling with is rebounding. We all know that with Jusuf Nurkic in, he obviously was helping us out in the rebounding category, but was making us hindered in a lot of other things. And the Suns saw that they could win games without Jusuf Nurkic because they benched him and then gave him a DNP. But now he's dealing with an illness. He's not even traveling with the team. So therefore, the Suns obviously are without their best rebounder, and using guys like Mason Plumlee and Oso Ighodaro hasn't been that benefactorial on that side, to where the Suns still need some interior presence, as we all know. If we want to look at the Suns team, we did see Devin Booker once again go off offensively for this Suns team and really starting to click and starting to gel alongside Kevin Durant. I don't know why a lot of Suns fans were harping about Devin Booker and critiquing him, saying we need to trade him. He's not a star. Motherfucker, he is, excuse my language, but he has been balling out, ladies and gentlemen. He has been that guy. And I'm telling you, Devin Booker hate needs to stop. Kevin Durant also offensively was really, really solid, but not that great defensively. Booker also had 5 turnovers. Tyus Jones didn't really help out the Suns that much offensively last night, has been able to been kind of picked out of these lineups, and with the Suns running 3 guards, it has been hindering the team. Mason Plumlee, a lot of fans were at his head last night as he was having some struggling times to defense and rebound. And Ryan Dunn has been a nice, obviously, piece inserted into this lineup, but with 1 rebound for Ryan Dunn and with Royce O'Neal also Ighodaro only getting 5 total, 6 total rebounds for the 2 rookies is not great. We need to see some better rebounding out of those guys. Unfortunately, Grayson Allen struggled a little bit defensively. Bradley Beal wasn't the best for the Suns, wasn't the most consistent, and so was Royce O'Neal. And fortunately for the Suns, they didn't really go with a deep roster in this game. They only went with 9 guys, which really, really limited them. in obviously having some deep rotations. We saw no Josh Okogie, we saw no Bull, we saw no Monte Morris, and those are some questionable things. Obviously, Monte has been very helpful with this secondary unit in playmaking and distributing, so I was kind of concerned with that. Seeing a player in Josh Okogie being taken out of the lineup as well was also very concerning. Another person that works with me over on Brightside, Trevor Booth, over on Twitter, who does some spaces and stuff like that. He's absolutely fantastic. He was mentioning before the game how he'd like to see Josh Okogie get played to play up on guys like Trae Young and some of these other guards, and Josh Okogie was not played. Now, maybe because amongst these rumors, the Suns are holding out on him, maybe hoping that they can look to trade him, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but I was puzzled that they did not give him any run. And Bull, once again, has gotten no run, has seen no shine with this Suns team. And I'm at the point where if they're not going to play Bull, if they're not going to do anything like that, just ship him off for Duop Reith at this point. Duop Reith is sitting on the bench on the Blazers. The Suns are interested in him. They're going to get Duop Reith. They have to send out another veteran minimum contract. Just trade Bull at this point. I know a lot of Suns fans love Bull, including myself. But let's agree, Suns fans, if he's not going to get the playing time he deserves, if he's not going to get the look, if he's not going to get the shine, even when the Suns are struggling in the front court help, clearly there's a vendetta against Bull in this system. Mike Budenholzer just doesn't want to play him, and a move off is just going to benefit only his playing time and Suns fans in seeing him grow what we want to see as a whole. But like I mentioned, if we want to look at this team from the Hawks, really dominant on the offensive glass. And Onyeka Okongwu, 21 points, 22 rebounds, 22 points. He was a difference maker. Once again, just like Mark Williams last time in the Suns game, they're just letting these young bigs just completely box them out, completely out-rebounding them, completely hold them on the defensive side, and it's absolutely ridiculous. We saw Garrison Matthews as well have 5 3-pointers, and he at one point had more 3-pointers than the Suns team did as a whole. Trae Young also had 43 points, was absolutely electric, and like I mentioned, and like Trevor mentioned, having a player like Josh Okogie to play up on a guy like Trae Young would have been nice, specifically a team without Jalen Johnson, one of its other better shot creators, opportunists, scorers for this team. I thought that this Suns team should be able to lock them down, should be able to stop them, but clearly there are still some defensive issues with this roster. There are still some rebounding issues with this roster, and with having a player getting DNPs, being out with an illness, making $18 million, specifically in a role that you need as a starter, as it was your previous starter, is a whole, the Suns need to make a move for a center, and I think the Suns need to make a move for the center by this week. There's no more, playing games up for chance, having fun, throwing these games around, because let's look at the Suns' record, ladies and gentlemen. The Suns, once again, are back to where they were just a couple games ago. Not in the play-in, one game under 500, and a lot of fans are critiquing. I guess some of these teams around us are a little bit poor as well, but the Warriors are looking to make changes. The Lakers have been a little bit fading as well, but they're looking to make changes. The Timberwolves are getting a little bit hot. The Spurs have been looking really nice as a young team, and if they make a couple moves, they could start rising in the ranks. The Kings, since the firing of Mike Brown, have been very solid with Doug Christie as their head coach, and these are things to look out as a Suns fan, because as it stands right now, the Suns are not even in the playoffs, but not the play-in. They're one of the teams that is going to be getting a lottery pick, and the Suns do not own that pick. So the Suns need to get into the playoffs, need to find a way to get out of this funk, and honestly, a trade is going to be that way. Bradley Beal working on this bench is not going to work, making $50 million. He, like I mentioned on multiple videos, he needs to be moved to a team to where he can fit and be that star. And everyone's in the comment section, oh, Miami doesn't want Bradley Beal. You're not going to trade Bradley Beal. It has to be to a third team. I know that he's not going to Miami. I've stated that in multiple videos. He is not going to Miami. But if he waives his no trade clause, if the Suns can figure a way to get Jimmy Butler to this team, Jimmy Butler wants to be here. He's meeting with the Suns owner. I messed up. Not Pat Riley is the owner. Pat Riley's the GM. He's meeting with the Suns owner on Friday, and he is going to have those discussions. And I truly believe out of those discussions, we're going to get that Jimmy wants out, Jimmy wants to go to the Suns, and something is going to happen to where the Miami Heat find some sort of package by February 6th. It could be pushed a couple weeks till we looming up to the trade deadline, but I do see a deal for Jimmy Butler happening, and I could see even a move before that happening for the Suns if they can't strike on Jimmy Butler in this week, as I do believe that the Suns benching Josh Okogie, as he's been in trade rumors, as we've broken down in recent videos, for guys like Nick Richards was the key. Josh Okogie is tradable today, January 15th, he is trade eligible, and the Suns have already used his name in discussions, and I would not be shocked if Josh Okogie is moved on an off day where the Suns are not playing. They gave him rest for a player like Nick Richards, as the Suns desperately need that rim protection, desperately need that shot blocking, desperately need that interior presence on the defensive side at that center position, even if it is just Nick Richards, who's a plausible center at this moment, just to see how this team works with Richards in it. Do they still need to add center? Do they still need to go after a guy like Reith? Or could they hold their own with a guy in Richards, in Oso, and Mason? Ultimately, I still think going after Reith and adding Richards is still the best move, as you can still get both of those guys for only giving up Okogie and Bol with some second round picks. And I still think that even if you lose a guy on Okogie on the wing, you still have players like Ryan Dunn and Royce O'Neal who can similarly play that role, and you could still go out and get another player or piece like Josh Okogie out there on the trade market using another expendable contract. But like I said, the center addition is necessary. Suns fans are furious that the Suns lost this game due to the fact that they have no interior presence, have no interior pressure, and have no rebounding. And they desperately need that. And this is why Matt Ishbia and James Jones need to be on the phone today, if not today, by this week, getting a deal done for a center. Make sure it happens, Matt Ishbia and James Jones. But I want to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. So let me know what you think down below on this Suns postgame, breaking down the Suns' unfortunate loss. They're back in that losing streak, but hopefully they'll be able to fight out of that funk and get ready for their game tomorrow. Like I said, we will be live before the game, 6 p.m. Eastern, or 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, to break down everything Phoenix Suns, go over all the stuff last week, trade rumors, look ahead at the week coming up, and going over your questions. So if you want to join, have some fun with all the Suns fans. It was absolutely fantastic last week in an inaugural one. We're going to be pumping out, having a good time. So I hope to catch you all there. And if not, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Phoenix Suns. Peace out, everyone.